Yeah, you guessed it. I'm back at the coast. I need to try and get some sea air in me to blow away this bug or whatever it is I've got. So excuse me if I don't sound my normal self. I didn't want to risk a night away in Maddie, just in case I woke up this morning feeling lousy. So I've set off this morning at about half an hour later than I should have done. It was about 10 to 6 when I set off, and I'm at Withensea because it's probably one of the closest parts of the coast to me. I did a bit of research last night and saw a spot that I would like to shoot. High tide was 7 o'clock, sunrise is 10 to 8. 10 to 8! Get that, oh, so good. But the tide is still too high to shoot the bit that I want to shoot. But luckily, we've got a wonderfully grey, overcast day, which is suiting me down to the ground for some minimal work. So I'm hoping that by the time the bit comes into view that I'm interested in, we'll still have some overcast sky and the light won't be so harsh that I can't shoot. So I thought I'd start off down at these steps. Now I've tried this before, the other side of the, hold on, where are we? The other side of that castle-y thing. And it didn't work because nothing was in line, and that kind of freaks my OCD a bit. I've had to be fairly deliberate here with the composition I've gone for. Right, so we have the steps coming in, or the railings rather, at either side. Then we have, I'm not sure you can see that, ooh, this board, and I'm still bemused as to what that is. It's rather noisy, and the tide should be well on its way out, and it doesn't seem to be. Then in the distance we have the marker pole, and behind that you might just be able to make out the wind farm. Luckily, the centre post lines up pretty damn close to the marker post, and the marker post is virtually slap bang in between two windmills, which I'm quite pleased with. Now I did start off shooting this in landscape orientation, but I was getting this in. I'm going to clone it out on the landscape orientation one that I've done, but I quite like it in portrait orientation. I've got the polarizer on, to minimise the glare on the water, but also to even the exposure between the water and the sky. I've got a, what have we got? We've got a 0.6, I believe it is. Let's have a look. Yep, we've got a 0.6 medium grad and a 6 stop. 6 stop was plenty for this morning. And that was giving me exposure times of, trying not to knock my tripod over. I think we're about 78 seconds. Oh no, 134 seconds. Not sure on that one. Didn't like that one. And 86 seconds. So yeah, I tried a darker exposure, but it just didn't work. The colour of the water isn't the glorious aqua that I really like. It's decidedly pooey colour. Apart from the fact the tide is almost right on the east side of the country, I've also come here because the wind is coming from the west. Yes, from the west. I knew I was going to be low down, so I'm fairly well sheltered. We were expecting a bit of rain. I was working on the basis that if the wind's coming from behind me, so would the rain be, and that way I could keep the camera fairly dry. That was my logic anyway. I've not really had a good wander around Withensea. Merrily wander past the tripod and not kick it over. There's some other stuff down there which is piquing my interest, so while I'm waiting for that little lot to come through, I think I'm going to have a mosey on down there. It's the end of November. I've come out dressed like Nanook of the North, and it's 10 degrees. Now, I'm going to take my life in my hands and get wet. Been having huge fun with these two boulders. And I just get the shot I want and think, oh, I'll have another go at that. And then the sea moves them. Swines. I've got it down to 1.6 seconds. I'm still using the 6-stop. The light is beginning to come through to the right-hand side. And I'm just waiting for a wave to come up and swoop over those two boulders. I've got a 2-second timer on, so as it comes in, and I know it's covered those boulders, then I press the shutter, and that just gives me a nice little bit of dragging action. That's one, so press the shutter, 2 seconds, and we're off. Yes! I'd come down to shoot the groins, but I wasn't feeling it because we had no light at all. Now we're getting some light, I'm going to go and have a go at them. Beginning to get a little bit of sunlight. Whew, yes, I've just blinded myself. I finished playing with my little rocks because they were getting swept out into the ocean and the beach was getting really, really pebbly, so it stopped working as I expected it to. I've come over to the other side of the groin, so we're getting light. Be a bit optimistic there. A little bit of light on these groins. And I'm trying to pull myself away from perfectly long exposures. And I'm trying to capture a bit of motion in the water. And also, unusually for me, I'm including some of the sand. Now, it's not perfectly clean sand. There are pebbles and there's little rocks. So it's not as smooth as I would like it. But because I'm thinking black and white, mainly because the sea is such a horrid, horrid brown colour, I'm thinking that would work quite nicely. A contrast between the dark sand, the dark groins, and the white water. And I've been here for about 3/4 of an hour doing this. Zooming in and zooming out, increasing my shutter speed, decreasing my shutter speed, changing my f-stop. I've settled on, I think, f7.1. And I've got it down to about a 1/6 of a second, which is quite dark and moody. The sky is, yeah, bland. Bland, I think, is the best way to describe it. And I think I'm quite pleased with a couple of them. I'm still using the 6-stop and the polarizer. I put the grad on just to bring the sky down a touch. But I quite like those. Yeah. Now my tummy's rumbling, so it must be getting close to home time, and I haven't been down yet to shoot the thing that I came to shoot, and I'm hoping the tide is out far enough now for me to do that. So I am going to pack up here and have a wander across. Oh, you can't beat getting some fresh air into your lungs. We've come down nice and low. I've got half a leg out on the tripod. I'm still shooting on the 17-55. And that's kind of the composition I was aiming for. Getting a little bit of dragging motion where I could, because when the water comes in, it really does make a huge area of bright white. But I was trying to catch it as it drags itself back out. Oh, look at the colour of that water. It's foul, isn't it? That looks like it would work. 2-second timer. Catch it as the waves come in. Just a little bit of sand up in this left corner. A couple of them I've managed to catch it where the water's come in the bottom right hand corner of the image, which has worked quite nicely. And we're on 1/6 of a second. As I say, trying to do things a little bit differently. We shall see what it looks like when I get it home. Right, pack up, go back down that way. it down to where I want to be. And there's the two towers. I presume they're a folly, but I'm not really sure. And what I wanted to shoot was this breakwater. It's almost a curve, but I'm struggling to find the angle that actually shows it to be a curve. We've got some beautiful rocks. They're sort of a slate grey. We've got a very old and decrepit marker pole, which is slightly on the wonk, which is playing havoc with my OCD. And I've tried with the 6-stop, and I thought, oh, actually, yeah, I quite like that. And then I thought, oh, just for shits and giggles, I'm going to put the 10-stop on, because there's a little bit of cloud detail coming in now. And with the 6-stop, really wasn't certain that I like that. With the 6-stop, I was on f14 and 20 seconds, and I was getting little bits of white where the water is, it sort of pools, and then you get some white foam on the top, and it just sort of moves out in a streak. And then I was getting a smidgen of cloud detail, but not proper cloud detail, not where you go, oh wow, look at that. So I banged the 6-stop on, and I think I'm happy with that. 10 seconds, 136.8 seconds, can't forget the 0.8, and I dropped down to F10, otherwise we'd have been here till Christmas. Yeah, I think I prefer that one. Well, I think the trick to coming back to somewhere several times is to try and find something different each time. Now, I know the first image I shot was very similar to one that I shot when I was here previously, but the rest of them have been different. And again, where I'm at now is completely different. I'm not 100% convinced it works. Need to see it on the big screen, but I think it does. I've come up onto the rocks, and it's not what I was expecting. When you're down there, excuse me, the rocks seem to stretch out a lot further than when you're up here. And as we're on a receding tide, I thought that they would be going, more would be becoming visible. But it's not. However, we've actually got a semi-interesting sky. I don't know where the little clouds appeared from, but they've appeared. And we've got a little bit of streaky detail in them. I noticed it when I was using my phone. I was just trying a couple of compositions with my phone to see if they'd work. Bit of a hint there, bit of a tip. Get your phone. You can go portrait and landscape really easily. While you're doing a long exposure, just have a wander around. And that's what I was doing down there. And I thought, oh, I like those clouds. So I've popped the polarizer on. I've done it with and without polarization. Again, with polarization to darken the rocks is making the water look yucky. It's removing the glare off the water so you're seeing what's underneath, which is not what I want. But it's bringing the detail out in the sky. Turning the polarization off, you're minimizing the horizon, losing a little bit of detail in the sky, but I can probably bring that back in post. The rocks, again, are getting brighter, burn those out in post, or blend. I haven't moved compositions, so maybe that would work. This is quite minimal. I've just got rocks, water, sky, and that's it. There's a marker post just at the end there, the first one you can see, that is showing in this image, and I'm probably going to clone that out because I don't want it there. Well, I quite like that. And that's it, I'm done. I'm off ski. It's, I don't know, 11 o'clock. It's 90 minutes home, and I've got loads of stuff to do this afternoon. So thank you very much for coming along. Hope you've enjoyed a little trip back to the seaside. And I will catch you again next weekend. I don't know, you never know, it might be snowing. Have a great weekend, ladies and gents. See you soon. Bye.